Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Player Zone YouTube channel. Welcome back to our game recap from Portugal, Slovenia, which was probably one of the most entertaining nil-nils we've seen in a very long time. This game had all the drama, back and forth, penalty saves from Jan Oblak, penalty misses from Cristiano Ronaldo, chance on the break for Benjamin Sesko, big saves from Diogo Costa in regulation and in the penalty shootout. Yes, it wasn't glitz and glam in terms of great attacking football or massive well-built team opportunities, but it had those big moments, and that's sort of what this Euro has been all about, those big moments, those big players standing up in big moments, and it was the two goalkeepers in this game that stood up in massive moments, and that's why this game was 0-0. In terms, I guess, the football purists, it wasn't, I guess, all of that, but in terms of entertainment as a neutral, you absolutely loved it. It was a back-and-forth type game that almost was destined to have a goal at some point, but then, obviously all these chances get missed. You're like, this is going to go to penalties. We know it's going to go to penalties. It's destined to. And as such, a game that didn't have many opportunities in the 90 minutes had some massive moments come at the end of the game. Let's get into the play-by-plays here. The start of the game lacked a lot of really meaningful opportunities. Portugal do what they do best, which is keep control of the possession of the football, try to create through a team build-up type style. It wasn't quite working out. Slovenia were tough to beat. They're back really compact and would comfortable enough in their own right to control the ball and have a bit of small stints in possession as well. So both teams sort of nullified each other for the first half an hour at least, and it took to the 34th minute where Rafael Leao won a free kick, which Cristiano Ronaldo would stand up and take. It was the first big chance of the game. Ronaldo firing a free kick at pace, which looked like it was destined to find the back of the net, but just went over the crossbar and had Jan Oblak scrambling across his goal to try and cover that far side of the goal. But still 0-0 at that point in time. It was Benjamin Sesko next who would call Diogo Costa into action in the 44th minute. His long-range effort from outside the box was powerful, but straight at Diogo Costa. As such, the game was kept at 0-0. Paulinho would be denied outside of the post. He had a long shot. The ball was rolled back by Rafael Leao, making that fantastic run, cutting the ball back to the edge of the area. And Paulinho had a very, very complete game. Took his shot, and the outside of the post, the ball bounced off it and went straight out of play. And that would be the last kick of the first half. So a few opportunities for either side, but nothing real clear-cut, nothing real massive and glaringly massive misses. So we'd go into the half at 0-0. Ronaldo had another free kick in the 55th minute, which went straight into the hands of Jan Oblak. Yet again, another poor free kick for Ronaldo there. And then the massive one was Benjamin Sesko breaking away at pace, being Pepe for pace and getting in behind the Portuguese backline, going through on goal to face Diogo Costa, but pulled his effort wide at the goal. And yet again, Benjamin Sesko missing massive opportunities. And the money tag, I think Arsenal fans are glad that they didn't pay that massive £67 million fee for him, because right now he's looking like that complete striker, looking like a striker that is lacking confidence and missing massive opportunities, which was that one there in the 61st minute. Arguably the chance of the game came in the 89th minute. Cristiano Ronaldo was played through one-on-one to face Jan Oblak, and hit straight at the goalkeeper. It was a very uncharacteristic type Ronaldo display. Again, all of his shots basically went straight at Jan Oblak, including that one-on-one chance late in the game. He missed that opportunity after Diogo Jota came on and changed the game, winning that ball back hard the pitch and feeding through Cristiano Ronaldo. But again, another massive chance missed, and we would go into extra time. It was extra time where Diogo Jota would win a penalty, driving out 3 or 4 Slovenian defenders and then brought down, meaning Cristiano Ronaldo would step up in the 105th minute. His penalty, though, saved smartly by Jan Oblak. Again, a decent penalty, but a very savable height. And Ronaldo was left in tears because I think he was overwhelmed by it. He just kept missing opportunities. Jan Oblak continued to be in the way and continued to establish himself as arguably the player of the game up to that point in time. However, he would be outdone by Diogo Costa, with Pepe miscontrolling the ball out from the back. Benjamin Sesko picked the ball up in the 105th minute and was through on goal. However, Diogo Costa, once again, outstretched left foot and left arm, made himself big and denied Benjamin Sesko and kept the game at 0-0 somehow. The game was scoreless at that point in time. We then went into penalties. The first penalty from Ilicic was saved by Diogo Costa. It was Cristiano Ronaldo to convert his second penalty of the game, to make it 1-0. The next penalty was missed by Slovenians, and Bruno Fernandes smoothly, calmly, and coldly put his penalty away to make it 2-0. And another penalty save from Diogo Costa, once again, being the hero. Again, probably a weaker penalty, the third one, but once again, crossed his right-hand side to keep the ball at the back of the net. And then Bernardo Silva stepped up to secure it, put the ball in the back of the net, a 3-0 penalty shootout win for the Portuguese to secure their spot in the quarterfinals to face France. Again, as you can see by the run-by-run play, it was a game that had huge opportunities. Outside of them, not much to be talked about, but entertaining nonetheless. An end-to-end style of game. Keepers standing up for once. One of those few games in this tournament where the keepers have made their name about themselves. And all in all, an entertaining type game. I guess, talk about Slovenia first. Fantastic tournament. The first chance into the knockout stage of a European Championship finals. And they can hold their heads high. A fantastic performance throughout the game. Jan Oblak, the hero yet again. The experienced man at the back, holding it all together. But in terms of the defensive solidity, they kept it tight. They denied the likes of Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Rafael Leao, a lot of clear-cut opportunities because they were so solid defensively, really robust at the back, closing down space, not allowing easy space in behind for Portuguese runners, and were tough throughout and really deserving of a positive result in this game. Unfortunately, they couldn't go their way in the end. But I guess there's building blocks there. Benjamin Sesko, a young player, hasn't performed at this tournament at all. His next tournament, whether it be a World Cup or the next European Championships, a chance for him to go and establish himself yet again. A few more years under his belt to score some more goals and lead the line. Because that's what they're really lacking in this tournament. You look at the side on paper, and yes, it's not many names you know of, but the defence have become well known. The likes of Karsinic, Bijol as well. These two guys at the back have really stood out for me. The captain, Jan Oblak in goal as well. These guys have stood out. The defenders have done a great job. Midfielders lacking that control. They had moments in this game where they had a bit of possession. But obviously underdogs, obviously historic the way they made it out the group there. Yes, they got lucky in the group they were in, but they still made it out of it, holding England to a 0-0 as well. There's positive signs to take this in the tournament, and I think they will take that into the future, that they can compete with the best sides. They've held one of the better teams in the tournament, Portugal, to a goalless draw for around 120 minutes. So there's definitely positive signs there for this group. And I guess a memorable run for them and their fans. It's so unfortunate they couldn't make it, past this stage into a quarterfinals. That would be very historic. But they can hold their heads high, knowing that they took a very solid team like Portugal all the way. They held England to a 0-0 draw as well, and were really competitive throughout the tournament. And I guess if things go their way with Sparan or Sesko up top, things land their way. They have a bit more confidence, a bit more form. It could be talking about a side that's in the quarterfinals or coming second on the top of their group. So fantastic from this Slovenian side, and definitely a tournament to be remembered for them and their fans, especially their first appearance in the knockout stages. For Portugal, again, not convincing, but a job well done in the end. And in tournament football, it doesn't matter how you win it, as long as you get over the line in the end. And we just think back to 2016 where they won it all. They drew every group stage game. They're winning in penalty shootouts all the way through, and took an head-to-head chance at nothing in the final for them to win it. So they've done it before in this fashion. We can say the same thing about the English, the French as well. They haven't performed either at a high level, and these teams have all come to the tournament as betting odds favourites, right? So they're not so far behind. It's just the gap between Spain and Germany to these groups, this group of teams, the three teams, England, France, and Portugal, is growing and growing by the day. The upside for Portugal is there, though. I think there's a few questions. It hurts me to say, there's a few questions about Cristiano Ronaldo starting. Diogo Jota comes on and changes the game for me. Gonzalo Ramos is a handy enough striker. Conceição's come on and won the game versus Czechia at the end. Ronaldo's had a very bad tournament. Now we look at it, it was respectable. It was okay performance. This one, it made it look bad, right? He's missed a lot of opportunities, no goals at this point in time, penalty misses. He's on free kicks and taking them away from Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes, who are better free kick takers in my mind. Doesn't offer enough without the ball, obviously, with his tracking back and defensive work. And then when he's on the ball, he doesn't make the right decisions enough for me. And I think they're so Ronaldo-centric when he's there. They're trying to force feed him the ball. I think you go with a more mobile front line. If it means Diogo Jota plays down the middle as more of a false nine, Bruno Fernandes just off him, and you play Bernardo Silva and Rafael Leao up top, that's more chance of you breaking down teams, especially a French side that is so solid defensively. Like, they do not concede many opportunities, and when they do, they normally cover off really, really well. I think you have to try and go something different. That's why I think Diogo Jota is a good option. He comes off the bench last night and makes a difference. Nearly sets up Ronaldo's goal, wins the penalty that Ronaldo missed as well. I think it's about time we said Diogo Jota from the start. That's just my opinion. I know it hurts me to say it with Cristiano Ronaldo, one of my favourite, probably my favourite player of all time. But it isn't there for him. It isn't happening for him. And sometimes if you're Roberto Martinez, yes, it's a massive call, because if you win or lose, all going to be about Ronaldo. All the info will be about him, and you, because in the end, probably risk your job by not starting Ronaldo. But I think it's the right decision to make for the good of the team, for the chance to go and make a semi-final. You beat this French side. Yes, it's another hard semi-final, but the confidence you get from beating that side, you're basically 2 wins away from winning it. I think you're on the tough side of the draw. The other side has some solid teams there. You've got the Austria, you've got the England there, potentially Netherlands as well. But you're on the strong side. You beat the French side, you get the confidence to go in the semi-final. I said, again, there's just two 90-minute or 120-minute games you could nick it, right? You get to a final, you are going to beat the favourites. You're going to be the better team, the opposition, the other side of the draw. If it takes dropping Ronaldo for the next two games to ensure you get there, I would do that. And I think that's where you have to go, because this side, other than that, has been fantastic. Pepe, outside of that bad mistake at the 115th minute, looked cool and calm at the back. Him alongside Ruben Dias was fantastic. João Cancelo produced his best game in the tournament from the fullback position. Vitinha and Palhinha is a great combination in midfield. Bit of grit and grind in there. Also some quality in the ball as well. So that's a great balance in midfield. Rafa Leao probably produced one of his better performances for the tournament. I think the only weak link right now is Cristiano Ronaldo. It's simply put, that is the weak link in this side. And you look at the bench, there's options at the Diogo Jota, Francesco Conceição, alongside, the likes of Antonio Silva, João Neves, Gonçalo Ramos, Pedro Neto, João Felix. There's talent on the bench. I think the name is a lot. It's the captain's armband. It's the history, it's the vintage that Ronaldo brings. But I think it's time we have to make a change if you're Portugal, because I think that'll be the difference between winning and losing games, especially against the French, who are so solid defensive. They don't give up many opportunities. You can't have Ronaldo having these chances and missing these chances. That's just my view on things. Let's go now to our key players of the game. Starting with Jan Oblak. If he wins the game, he is easily the man of the match. 8.9 match rating, 6 saves, 1.44 goals prevented, a Ronaldo penalty save, 5 saves from inside the box, 15 out of 36 accurate long balls. He was a brick wall. He was historic, and despite losing this game, I think this will go down in the memory of a lot of Slovenian fans. His performance here, he was, superhero type stuff. The way he was making his saves, great save from Ronaldo's penalty. Unfortunate not to make a save in the penalty shootout, but got close to Ronaldo's initial penalty. It was really, really good. There was a lot of opportunities that were there. He kept being behind balls. And yes, Portugal didn't make that many opportunities, but when they did, Jan Oblak was in the way and just once again showed the world that he's one of the most consistent goalkeepers across this generation. I remember when we were sitting here doing the list of goalkeepers on our podcast, me and Nathan said, it's so easy to forget about Jan Oblak because he's been at Atletico Madrid. Yes, they're so defensive, but yes, he makes so many saves. And we just expect that from him now. And for over the last 8 years, he's just been a consistent keeper that continues to make save after save after save. And once again, showed himself on a big stage here versus Portugal with a fantastic game and absolutely deserving of that 8.9 match rating, because he was a mobile brick wall in that game. The next player for me was João Cancelo. Again, I touched on him before. One of his best performances in this tournament. And because he was better defensively, 5 clearances, 1 interception and 4 tackles, alongside his 12 out of 19 ground duels won, 2 out of 4 aerial duels won, 112 touches of the football, got a lot of the football, 4 to 7 accurate long balls, and 6 out of 8 successful dribbles. He was driving forward. He was creating opportunities from that wing-back position, which we know he does so well. But for me, as I said, what separated him that game there was his defensive coverage. He did really well shutting down the Slovenian counter-attacks, did well winning the ball back quickly for the Portuguese side, and was really good in the ball, setting up attacks from that right side of the fence at times, and then tucking in towards midfield, doing a bit more of that Pep Guardiola style, coming in narrow alongside Ruben Dias and playing out into midfield areas, helping out Vitinha and João Palhinha in the ball as well. So, and all in all, really, really complete performance from João Cancelo. Not many mistakes in his game, which we've seen in the past, a few mistakes in his tournament so far, but did a fantastic job across the full 100-odd minutes he played on the pitch. So really, really good from João Cancelo. And then finally, the man of the match has to be Diogo Costa. The 8.2 match rating, 2 pivotal saves in regulation time, especially that 150th minute save to deny Benjamin Sesko, who should have scored the opportunity and would have won the game for Slovenia. He obviously made the 3 penalty shootout saves. And yes, again, he wasn't required to do too much in the regulation 120 minutes, but 3 penalty saves back to back to back. Fantastic. The big save against Benjamin Sesko in extra time. It was an aura type performance from Diogo Costa. Continue to be big, continue to guard the goal, be that massive man in the net, and in the way save Ronaldo and Portugal's legacy here, because this squad here, it's aging, it's getting older and older. This is the tournament for them. This, or the World Cup, is the tournament for them. And for Ronaldo's standpoint, this is the game for Cristiano. This is the tournament for Cristiano Ronaldo, right? And he's saved that legacy there and kept this side alive. They've had a lot of massive moments. This Conceição in game 1, and Diogo Costa here in this game, Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo Silva against Turkey. They've had big individual performances, and this was his individual performance to stand out, and boy, was it fabulous. And it will go down in the memory banks of a lot of Portugal fans because it was just fantastic. We've seen, obviously, classic penalty saves from Portuguese keepers along the years, but this one has to go up there. 3 in a row from the penalty spot. Don't say that much often. Think about Donnarumma's under this tournament. Think about Georgi Masvidal's under this tournament. That was probably up there and probably beat them both. Both these keepers were almost unstoppable in this game here and deserving of all their props. So Diogo Costa, for me, is the man of the match. Portugal get through just yet again, and they're going to face a French side who got through just last night as well. Two teams that have lacked a lot of confidence, lacked a lot of clear opportunities in open play. Obviously, France have not scored from open play yet in this tournament. Portugal have in that game versus Turkey and Czechia, but have struggled throughout, right? It's been a really broken up type performance. Ronaldo underperforming. We've had poor performance from João Cancelo. The midfield, though, looks a bit stable, so that's a positive because you're going to go up against one of the best midfielders, I think, in the competition in N'Golo Conte, alongside Aurelien Tchouameni, and whoever comes in to replace Adrien Rabiot in midfield. It's important, though, for the Portuguese to stay strong defensively. The French are really strong defensively. If you can be strong defensively and to nullify that game, it's going to become a moments game. I think that's where, yes, it can equally go in either side's favour, but I think that's how you want to ride this game out. You don't want to give the French confidence to score a goal early on. You keep them out and you be solid defensively. You build up from the midfield areas and you nick a moment, a Bruno Fernandes magic moment, a Cristiano Ronaldo magic moment, a Diogo Jota magic moment. That's the way you might win that game of football. And it's going to be a game of inches, I feel like, versus the French, because both teams are out of form, lacking confidence, but all it takes is one moment. I feel like this Portuguese side, if they can win this game versus France, I give them a lot of confidence moving forward. Yes, they'll have to face a Spain or Germany, but to beat a French side, how good they are, and you're on the stronger side of the draw, you have that confidence, that result. It's 2 games, really. Portugal have to win 2 games here, in my eyes, to win a tournament. And yes, it's going to be very, very difficult. Yes, you're on the tough side of the draw, but as such, by beating those 2 games, you get to a final, you go on as favourites, and you're most likely win that game of football. Can you do, enough here across these 2 games potentially to win this tournament for me? Because that's what it's going to come down to, actually, all the teams on this side of the draw now. If you win these 2 games that you've got available to you, basically going to the finals favourites and look much better than the teams coming from the other side of the draw. So it'll be very interesting to see what they can do and how they manage that game versus the French. But they get through. That's all that matters for them. Despite all the chaos with Ronaldo and penalties and free kicks and they've gotten through. It's all on to the next game now. It'll be interesting to see what Roberto Martinez does with this side, but positive nonetheless that they've gotten through. If you enjoy the video, guys, please smash a like on it, subscribe to the Players Zone channel for more videos like these, reactions, podcasts, live streams, and a lot will all be here on the channel as we come close to the end of Euro 2024. And also press that post notification bell so you know we upload videos or podcasts here on the channel. With that being said, ladies and gents, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the upcoming football, and I'll see you guys in a video very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.